we've got an authoritarian in office. He's essentially tearing apart the things that really matter to working families across the United States, and nobody's stopping him. And the Congress is under the control of his party. They're all paying homage to him.
The other guy that the Democrats have, and it's basically just because he's white, so they're putting him out there. He's a heavy white guy. And they were like, again, they know he's not going to be president, but they just have to put bodies out there in the mainstream so people don't think that they're all absolutely insane, is the governor of Illinois, JB Pritzker. And we've played a couple of videos of this guy. This guy who, Chicago is in Illinois, Chicago, which has the strictest gun laws in the country, and they have the most murders every weekend in the country. A lot of people have fled Illinois post-COVID and everything else. This guy who has been pushing for protests in the street, he's implied that violence is okay. Not a great guy. But what happens when you're not a great guy and you're just kind of average? Well, the machine loves you. You get on Jimmy Kimmel and you get to explain yourself.
In Illinois, and so those things weigh on me,
Well, let me ask you about something specifically that you said in the speech, and I think this is kind of what the thing that got people fired up. You said it is time to fight everywhere and all at once. You called for mass protests. There were mass protests today.
Yeah.
What does that mean, fight everywhere and all at once? I mean, what should we do?
Well, I think everybody understands that at this point, we've got an authoritarian in office. He's essentially tearing apart the things that really matter to working families across the United States, and nobody's stopping him. And the Congress is under the control of his party. They're all paying homage to him at all times. No one's willing to break with him, even though they're taking away health care from millions of people across the United States and threatening Social Security. So I guess, the question is, what can you do in that circumstance? And the only thing, in my view, that we really can do on a national level is let them know about our displeasure, because none of those Republicans in Congress, they know they're up for re-election in 2026. And if they don't know how much resistance there is out there in their own districts, then they're just going to keep following Donald Trump and doing whatever he wants. So we've got to be out there loud, proud, stand up, speak out. And today, I think you saw that all across the United States. I think it's appropriate. It's May Day, but it's May Day, everybody. It is literally.
Yeah, it is.
No one has lost health care in the United States. They are not threatening Social Security. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump repeatedly says that they're not going after Social Security. They're cleaning up fraud. You know it, you portly putz. But you know it, but you still say it, of course. And Jimmy, he's only bringing you on to clean up the mess that you got yourself in, because you implied that people should be out there violently rioting in the streets. And again, as it pertains to what's going on in his state, well, in Chicago, he's not the mayor of Chicago, but he is the governor of Illinois, and Chicago has huge problems. 9 were shot last weekend, 3 dead. And I asked Joseph while we were playing the clip, well, how does that compare to, say, Florida? There were 2 shootings in Florida, no deaths. We have very loose gun laws, laws which, by the way, Ron DeSantis is still trying to loosen up even further. But the point is, they just don't know what they're doing. So they're throwing out Stephen A., and they're throwing out George Clooney, and they're throwing out Pritzker. Meanwhile, you got the crazies and the racists and the Hamas people. They're all just out there doing their thing. So it's just something to watch out for. And just because we're just having a little fun on this Tuesday, it was May the 4th the other day, which of course, May the 4th, may the Force be with you. That's an International Star Wars Day. JB and his wife got dressed up right there. And that is a guy who would not have passed the fitness test at the Jedi Academy. I promise you that. And that is his wife over there. Of course, now in the real Star Wars, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia were brother and sister. So I don't know how weird this is about to get with these two, but there you go.